we're going to be checking out KamSandwich's The Worst Tabletop RPGs. This has been heavily recommended by multiple people I've played various games for, including a DM. And as I brought this up in a live stream, the casual reaction was, oh god, one person laughing out loud and other people just enjoying what they believe will be my infant suffering. Also known as my general chat stream. This is normal. Huh. That's a depressing thing to think about. More importantly, though, I don't want to get into here because I don't usually follow bad RPGs because I only have so many times I feel like, ooh, this is cool, and I check it out, which is why I'm absolutely obsessive right now about Mage the Ascension. Yeah, I'm standing by that one. Although I will laugh my ass off if they just randomly drop the 5e.1 in here because, no, fuck that. Personal opinion, and I think I stand by that option. Honestly, though, yeah, I'm just looking for a chat right now. They're just, here. I'll even show you guys what I'm talking about. This is the level of what we're getting into. Martin, ha 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 ha. Oh, this will be great. This will be weird. KamSandwich, oh my god, I know that voice. You see what I'm talking about. I don't know what we're getting to here, but I'm getting pre-freaked out. So before I think about this too hard and realize I'm probably going to make a mistake, never done that before, we're going to just not think and do it anyways. Because also, I've never done that either, ever. Ignore all the video evidence.
How's it going, dudes? Bad mechanics, bad themes,
welcome in.
Bad
crime.
balance. All of these words could be used.
Crime and Sons Paving. What?
To describe your standard, poorly managed auto repair shop. But if you're looking to get...
What was that?
To describe your standard, poorly managed auto repair shop.
I'm sorry, I have never seen that clip. Well, I have a new nightmare now.
But if you're looking to get yourself on the list of the worst tabletop RPGs, you're gonna need to do a little bit better than just...
Also, Pylo, oh boy, time for Airier to learn about Fatal He. Or did I say that wrong? It's Fatal Ha. I actually heard of Fatal. I don't know why, though.
As you would not believe the amount of absolute trash that this side of the market has going on. As you may have noticed, we've got quite the long one on our hands here. A cavalcade of
how bad could this actually get?
Includes outright broken mechanics, games that were published unfinished, and 2 separate unholy trinities.
Wait, people actually sell unfinished RPGs? Why? I mean, I get broken because, honestly, I think a perfectly balanced game is actually incredibly boring. But how bad is it just not finish the game?
One of them including the single most agonizing reading experience I've ever had the displeasure of setting my retinas upon.
Please, dear God, don't tell me there's a 50 Shades of Grey tabletop game. Don't let it be the case. Oh God. I'm not even sure that's a joke on my end. If there actually is, I think something is wrong with the world.
So let's waste no more time and jump headfirst into the full collection of the...
Also, if you think I'm overreacting, no, I stand by everything I just said. The book is shit. It's legitimately bad. In the freaking first chapter, because I was forced to do it by a previous YouTube video years ago, one of the illusions, the things going downhill, was talking about an escalator and an elevator going up. One, it's an incredibly similar thing based on transportation, locomotion, and direction, and they still got it in exactly the wrong way. It's like talking about a metaphor for a snake by talking about cars driving on a road in space through a supernova. It's like, what does that have to do? Nothing! Sorry, I have a trigger when it comes to that pile of shit.
Worst tabletop RPGs. It says a lot, what with me normally starting these off with the games that are pretty bad before...
I have no idea what any of these are, but I'm assuming it's basically just the kids don't know board games that you get in basically a Target aisle of, we don't know what we're selling, but a kid will buy it.
Working my way up to the atrocities,
Yahtzee, Texas Hold'em.
The very first category that I have on offer is the literally broken group. We're in for a fun ride.
Wait, broken is the best option of all. Oh, actually, that might be fun.
Starting us off, get those laser pointers out.
Ooh, is one of them going to be, we didn't playtest this. Actually, no, that one is intentionally broken and so fast you can forgive it.
Out and make sure they're charged. You're becoming a Cyborg Commando.
What?
Personally, I'm more of a fan of Cyborg Briefs, but everybody has their preference. Cyborg Commando
okay, he got me on
is
that
the
one.
1987 game that sees...
Gary Gygax? No, seriously, check it out. By Gary Gygax. This is made by the guy who did freaking D&D. Frank Metzer and Kim Moen. Oh, it has a pedigree. I'm kind of surprised about that. But also, if you told me nothing about this, I would assume it was made in the 80s. And yeah, no, that fits.
Players take up the roles of the titular cybernetic soldiers, men who have transferred their brains into cybernetic bodies in order to fight an invading alien threat.
Oh god, this is literally just Nikkei, but with guys. Huh. Yeah, that it's literally the same thing.
Cyborg Commando was a pretty hyped up game leading up to its release due to two factors.
Robots? Commandos! I'm assuming G.I. Joe fans and $1 Million Man fans really love this.
One, that premise is absolutely perfect for 1987. And
RoboCop,
two,
yeah.
One of the people who helped make the game
Never watched
was
Running Man.
Gary Gygax.
Yeah!
Who has a bit of a reputation in the scene due to his work in co-creating the pretty niche tabletop title known as Dungeons and Dragons.
I still love that the actual base lore for the game is just their tabletop group's playthrough. It's just cool. I like it. Some things were weird, but it's fun. Also, Raw, you mentioned... Oh, what are you writing? I'm just going to pull this up. You need a palate cleanser after this? What? And while it's a video game, check out Rogue Trader Awful People from Pancreas No Work. Actually, I'm not going to specifically because I actually want to play Rogue Trader. I'm just waiting for it to be on sale enough that I think it's worth grabbing because I have no idea how long I'll actually be able to do it. So I'm not sure it's worth paying full price for a game I'm not entirely sure I'll ever get around to. But it's one of the games I don't really want to know too much about because I want to go into it completely blind.
This bad boy's got a lot going for it, and with such stellar reviews as Cyborg Commando...
Unless you meant the role-playing Rogue Trader as opposed to, or the first edition Rogue Trader of Warhammer 40k, as opposed to the tabletop, or not the tabletop, the top-down Baldur's Gate style game that is currently for sale.
Isn't the worst game written, and this is a product that should be held up to designers as a lesson in how not to write a game. There's a lot of potential here. Wait, what? Yeah, they
Really?
biffed it. They biffed it really bad. Cyborg Commando falls victim to a lot of the traps that the other RPGs on this list do too. The most common two being how detailed the game is and the flaws of their new system.
Ah, the Battletech flaw. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because there is a sheet for everything. But you don't have to go so crazy. So, yeah. Battletech is still cool regardless.
Commando has a lot of detailed information that will help get you invested in
aliens,
the world.
Q-space travel,
numbers,
xenobiology
populations of cities, Cyborg Commando base locations, info about the biology of the aliens, all of this stuff having very little relevance to the game itself.
Ah, in other words, they were writing a companion for something else without realizing it doesn't deal with the game. There's a thing a lot of people do when they create a large universe where they make a information Bible, such as, well, the Silmarillion for Lord of the Rings would be that book. It's all of the backstory you're never going to get to, all of the information that you're never going to use. But on the off chance something will come up and you need an answer, it's already here. So it sounds like what they did here is they wrote the info Bible and then they published that as the game without actually doing it. So this is going to be weird. The book itself might actually be completely worth buying right now, even if you never play the game, because that level of detail is actually kind of impressive. And there's an entire movement right now of fake games that do that, where it's just all of the information about the random bullshit they're making up a fake universe about, and you don't actually play a game. Usually, though, they're based around video games instead. This seems like the most fake game, actual real game I've heard about. So, impressive, but also bad.
Even worse are the skills, as after converting yourself into a full-on metal war machine, you'd think you'd dedicate your skills to saving the human race from extinction and not stuff like entertainment ability and veterinary care.
No, actually, that one's very useful. Seriously, a good vet is worth more in some places than a good doctor. A doctor only works on people. A vet might be able to ape it if they know how to work with pigs, because our biology in theirs is actually very similarly organized.
For marine animals. I'm pinned down, and there's a seal with an injured flipper. I need cover.
I stand by this. That just sounds like a good choice.
This fluff apparently ends up making the game feel a little shallow when you end up running through it. Yeah. But don't you worry.
Yeah, would never play. But honestly, just for a lore book to buy, it's probably worth it. Would never play it, though. Group 1, broken. Oh, he actually changes out the thing behind him.
Your cyborg body won't be running for long before it up and runs out of energy.
Really?
See, what with the whole world ending and all, the military couldn't get the AA Duracells that they wanted and instead had to go generic. So each Cyborg Commando can only last a maximum of 30 minutes in battle before they run out of juice.
Really?
This is not a great time, what with...
Oh, don't make the joke, don't make the joke, don't make the joke. I mean, can you imagine if a guy had a time limit? Oh, yeah, the 30-minute man. Still better than the 1-minute man. Don't worry. If you're judging me for everything I just said, I deserve it.
The globe-spanning war going on, but it gets even worse.
It's a good thing battles are very short sometimes.
Main weapon, a laser that shoots out of their fingers. Every shot uses some of your battery life, and it is your main form of attack.
That is stupid.
So if you decide to shoot your laser once every round, as you would expect to do, you are going to be powering down in less than 5 minutes. These bugs have gotta be really stupid if we haven't been wiped out yet. These guys...
So, great building of the system for the lore, bad building of the system to actually play the game. Yeah, so it's a lore book with some rules attached to it, Valerian. Yeah, and a few other people mentioned that. Yeah.
Couldn't even survive the commute home. That all being said, what ended up
Commutes
sinking
are
this
overrated.
game the most was the new system that it pioneered,
What?
the D10X. The D10X system works a lot differently to your standard D20 roll, as what you do here is roll 2 10-sided dice and then multiply them together to get your value, supposedly helping this get closer to a percentage-based approach for your actions.
As opposed to percentile die, where you just get the percentage right away.
This sounds like a really cool idea,
but most people don't math well. And while I'm sure if they caught on, a lot of sweaty nerds would become very proficient in math really fast, then that would lead into the problem of actually having a useful, marketable skill, and we don't do that. I really wish that was a joke.
But it doesn't end up working out that way. By design, this is going to skew rolls to the lower end, but it also means that any accuracy checks just go off of this roll alone and not the player's skills at all.
Ew.
Another example of pretty deep concepts with shallow execution. All of this, as well as other stuff, like there apparently being no rules for guns in the game, despite, you know,
having a gun in the image,
led to this game getting pretty poor reception overall. And while
again, it seems like great to buy as a fake game and never acknowledged it was meant as a real game.
2 more sets were planned to be released,
They wanted to do more?
never ended up seeing the light of day,
Phew.
and the company would go under soon after. But at the very least, Cyborg Commando was able to get some praise as people saw the D10X system as a really cool idea that just didn't end up panning out.
It would be a cool system, though, if you adjusted profiles for how to win so that lower level percentiles were actually, if they're more common, had more actual effect, and the random actual good ending, a very high level, very rare option, would be absurdly powerful if it happened. But even then, if it's only that for everything, it does kind of reduce the entire building a character aspect. I'm just thinking more on D&D terms where simple isn't bad. Although I do kind of like how it's handled in Mage, where it's different, where it's more narrative based.
And if you're getting any praise among this crowd, then that's a big accomplishment. That stuff
Oh yeah, this is still the best of the worst, isn't it?
Here.
Oh, this is going to
Case
get
in
worse
point,
every time.
Our next game.
How bad could it get?
Wander the post-apocalypse and try to survive your journey on Dead Earth. A game so messed up by radiation that the
I don't know why, but this looks like the most 90s thing I can imagine. Like, this is the post-apocalyptic trend. I don't know why, I thinking so much early 90s. If I'm wrong, I'll be surprised.
the first letter isn't even capitalized. Ugh.
And they added
Dead
the D and
Earth
the E.
is the 2000 RPG that tasks players
Oh,
with
2000! A little later than I thought, but still close. Oh, I was a little off, though.
Attempting to survive
it's like we have Fallout at home, yeah.
Realistic wasteland.
Dead Earth is a realistic game. Other role-playing games are often based in fantasy or science fiction settings, or deal with fanciful and mythical creatures. Although Dead Earth is set in the future, the game's setting and mechanics are as brutally real as possible. Hundreds of hours of researchers have gone into filleting their own bias about their own competence because, oh my god, if part of your actual marketing is talking down about your competitors, you already know what kind of absolute BS this is. Oh, this is on clearance for $2. I wouldn't pay $2 for this. Oh, I forgot. This is still just in the... Oh, God. Also, here's what happens. If there's a nuclear war, you die. Everything dies. Because if you survive, it's dead. You don't die. It's just, you're gone. That's it. Anything surviving is poisoned, and no one really survives. Except the roaches, who might eventually come back. And you just hope that life evolves again from deep-sea vents that are maybe able to survive the collapse.
And setting. The game is meant to be hard, but simple. As it states, if it seems too easy to die in Dead Earth, that's because it is. Dead Earth is seemingly attempting to be the kind of game where the fact that it is so unfair is kind of the fun. With allegedly
that works in games where there's a skill component, but that was more of a video game thing because fast twitch reflexes can give you incentive to try and get over mechanics. This is the entire premise of the Dark Souls or the Souls-like franchise and or genre. In an RPG where you're role-playing, dying easily doesn't matter because there's so many things left up to the characters that could just randomly kill you that you just don't have control over because of random chance is not up to control. So you make the right decision, you still die.
Hundreds of hours of research going into how to make the radioactive...
I just want to say right now, hundreds of hours of research doesn't mean hundreds of hours of productive outcome. You can think 1,000 thoughts in the blink of an eye and have a super genius level of thought processing compute and still be wrong for all of them. There is a very big difference there.
Wasteland as realistic as possible. Oh, by the way, if you absorb enough radiation, you can literally fight death in order to save someone's soul. That just tends to happen sometimes. Yeah, the game seems to struggle with its own identity a lot as a...
This is just bad writing. This is just bad writing.
A ton of the game is hyping up the realism of the setting, but it has...
I hate settings that talk about the realism. Because if you're playing a game and it's not Animal Crossing, like, realistic actions, okay, here, this is fine. Sure, you know it's bullshit, but it's a cutesy game. But if you're talking about something serious... This is a game made by edgelords who never got over a Chanibio phase, but they think they grew into it and became and made it their own. And now I'm awesome because I have discovered the truth about this. This is someone where if the creators of this game who have written these paragraphs are not, trust me, bro, I know what I'm talking about, on Reddit. I'm not just saying they've said that, but I mean they have become the embodiment of that exact phrase. I will be very surprised. Oh, dear God.
No qualms of dropping.
Star Jumper, realistic game, Lost in IKEA. That is literally an SCP, man, and it is unironically terrifying.
That premise entirely whenever it's convenient. It ends up being convenient quite a lot. For instance, the combat of Dead Earth allows you to attack one of a person's 18 individual body parts, which all come with their own varying levels of hit points.
Why?
After all, hundreds of hours of research has come to the conclusion that your head is going to be able to take a lot less punishment than your chest. However, the game does not include any type of penalties for going for one body part over another. So you are equally as likely to hit someone in the neck with an attack as you are to hit them in the chest. And as Dyson Logos points out in his rundown of the game, the damage of a sword is enough that the average human with a strength of 1 will automatically kill someone with a sword blow to the neck.
No! No, that's not how that works. It's a stab, sure, but a lot of people, they would fuck it up, and they might actually do a lot of damage. They might get lucky and kick someone, but it's, no. One, you have to make sure the sword is sharp. You have to be able to maintain. You have to have one in the first place. You have to have the strength to raise it. You have to know how to hold the blade in such a way that it actually cuts, rather than just clipping off at the wrong angle and maybe getting lodged in the shoulder, which is still painful. But if you just do this, or being able to swing fast enough for it to cut, it's very hard to use weapons. Stabbing is easy because it's just in. Most people can get that part, but actually aligning a cut with a blade is very difficult. And getting to aim for the neck in the first place is not the hard part. If you actually hit the neck, there's enough variable stuff there that you could probably hurt someone. But just... I see how this is very much... I mean, I think I was right in the first time. This is someone who's basically being a trust me, bro, I know this Reddit expert. Ugh.
To be fair, I think I would also die if a sword struck me in the neck, but...
No, because a lot of people would hit you with the flat of it and not wonder why it cuts. Because that's a thing. Because you can hold it wrong. And you're hitting someone with the bat at that point, which again, it's still metal. It will do damage, but not the kind you're expecting. Oh, wow.
I didn't know it would be that easy. So the realism has already tanked the balancing, but don't you worry, as there's a lot more realism to go.
369 flatulence. Every time you enter an intensity shade, roll d6. On a 1 or 6, your character is compelled to noisily and smellily expel a large amount of bodily contaminated methane. Cost none. Range self-efficiency or effect binary. I'm actually going to be completely honest. I'm fine with this one. But I mean, I like dumb things. If this was made as a tongue-in-cheek game, I would be fine with it. But it seems like they were actually trying to be serious. If it's done tongue-in-cheek, though, suddenly a lot of the over-the-top bullshittery is good, but it looks like they're trying to do Rogue Trader, but played serious. And for anyone wondering, Rogue Trader is the first edition of Warhammer 40k, when it was a joke series that stole from every IP out there. Obi-Wan, Sherlock, Clouseau is a real character, and if we say this enough, Disney will find out, and it'll be one hell of a lawsuit.
Since you live in an irradiated world, you are going to be coming into contact with a lot of radiation. You know what that means.
Living in New Jersey.
Mutations! These mutations, as well as the more science fiction parts of the game, are all based around real scientific data, and can pop up both when creating your character.
The more I hear about them talking the realism, the more I lose faith in humanity.
Or if you manage to come into contact with a particularly large dose. There are 1,000 possible mutations that can pop up when this happens. So I'm going to read off a few of my favorites, and any radiation specialists in the audience, be sure to chime in with how perfectly spot on they are. 15 Sloth. The radiation makes you both lazy and pathetic.
I mean, yeah, it's an asshole way to go about it, but usually people dying of radiation sickness don't move around a lot. I'll give them a pass.
Oh, the radiation did that? 70, Gamma Knife. Allows you to shoot a burst of radiation from your hands. 100, Death. Okay,
that makes sense. I'll be honest, though, I like bullshit mechanics with random bullshit here. I'm in a weird position where I kind of like this, but for all the wrong reasons. This is not realistic. This is not good. This game seems horribly designed. But if there's thousands of various random effects you can generate, I could see someone randomly stealing this table and unironically using it in a better game because, sure, they already have interesting, stupid ideas. Let's have fun with it.
You die. 121, Destructive Clone. An exact replica of yourself splits from your body and now wants to kill you. 139, Ritual.
See, that is a fun little plot hook that would be really awesome. Because, like, fun encounter. Have fun.
Of the Dead. You can bring your dead friend back to life if you kill their killer within 1 day.
Ooh.
169, Flaming Death. In 3d6 hours, you burst into flames and die.
You know what? I was already referencing this being essentially trying to do Rogue Trader. But unironically, if you're playing Rogue Trader or any of the games with Psychers from 40k as a tabletop, I think this is a legitimately good choice to draw from. Like, this is a good thing to punish people who use magic and it goes bad. Random bullshit happen. Here is a good list. Add to it. Unironically, I kind of like it.
233, Ashes to Ashes. You are spiritually linked with those you enter combat with. If you kill them, you die. 260.
Great if it's the final boss, because at that point it becomes karmic and it's a really cool set piece. Terrible anywhere else.
64, geomolecular transmutation. What? Your body changes at the molecular level and you are now made of living stone. 271,
that could be
Spirit
cool.
Guide. Quote, you have a little guy on your shoulder telling you what to do and where to go. 436, Verve Paladin. If your friend dies, you can literally fist fight Moloch as he comes to claim their soul. 536, Embryo. You start aging in reverse like gosh dang Benjamin Button. 587, Pool. You melt into a pool of goo until you die. 735,
that would suck.
Zero. Nothing. 822, Empty.
They have multiple zero ones. I think this is what they put all their actual effort into.
This means there is nothing. 823, Not. Nothing. 824, Not. Another spelling of nothing. 825.
I almost want to think this is a joke by people who are edgelords, but also wanted to have fun with it. But they don't just do it well.
5 Nix. This means nothing. Also. 826, Perish. You die. 864, The Gambler. Gain an extra skill point anytime you gamble. And 946, Alcoholism. You are now an alcoholic.
My God.
I'm just surprised that they got so much scientific data from the Moloch boxing matches. Those are notoriously tough to get into.
Yeah.
Wow,
you
yeah,
gotta cheat.
It most certainly is pretty easy to die in this game. Those were pretty rough. But you know where it is even easier to die?
It gets worse.
While creating your gosh dang character. When determining your character's age, you will also be determining how many radiations they start the game out with that number being able to go as high as 24. And
in other words, you could randomly have to start over making a character. Also known as you keep rolling until you get something usable, because there's no way you're actually doing this.
As we just saw, a lot of those radiations can put you in a horrible spot or just outright kill you before you even start playing. And what's even worse, this game is one with a character cap. In Dead Earth, you are only allowed to make a max of 3 characters before you can't play anymore. That's straight up in the rules. So if you roll 3 bad characters and they all die before they even hit the field, too bad, buddy, you aren't playing the game today. So what we've got on our hands here
is a game that you're explicitly going to not play correctly because it's just thematically dumb. Or you just ignore that because you haven't started playing the game, so just dying in character creation wouldn't count, which would solve everything. But they're not saying that. Also, Pilo, there's an alcohol mutation, Hulk smashed. That sounds awesome, actually.
Is a brutally realistic game full of magic, spirits, and superpowers that is so unbalanced that most enemies can be killed in one hit from a level 1 character. But where those enemies will most likely be fine because the character won't actually end up making it to any combat anyway. Yeah, I can see now why it landed the 1. Again, there are a lot of pretty cool ideas in here, but this thing is just...
I mean, stealing from the pile of random bullshit is a great idea. Some of them look fun, others look really, really terrible. But as a punishment goes for characters who get replaced, that may be worth it.
It's a massive train wreck. Nothing works the way it's intended to, and the game is literally trying to stop you from playing right at the beginning. But hey,
I mean, maybe you should take the advice. At least it lets you know you shouldn't play this game.
It's a better look than the first impression made by our next entry.
Oh no.
You know what Dead Earth definitely wasn't? Written by the leader of a cult.
What?
Empire of Satanis. Yeah.
Wait, this is an actual cult-made game. You know, this is the second time I've heard about this year. Weird that it happened twice. And the crazy part is, this is not a joke. I literally just saw a documentary, YouTube documentary, about a game that was made by a cult in Japan. So, yeah, unironically, weird that it happened twice. The fact that that line also lines up with a meme, neat.
Yes, we are on game number 3, and we've already reached the cult entries. That has got to be a new record. Empire of Satanis is the 2005 RPG created by Vinger Satanis.
I'm seeing a theme about a lot of Chinibio here. Like, this looks like the guy who would... Just to clarify, this guy didn't go on to do something really horrible IRL, did he? Because he has the look of a guy who's going to get really into the roleplay. Like, absolutely believe it's real. Like, no, I am a vampire. I am 1,000 years old. I am the veal. I must kill you for doubting my reality. It looks like the kind of guy who would say that. And, you know, there's a line, and that is very much the line. Do not cross it. Yeah.
Or Derek, if you want to be less cool. Who is...
I'm going to be honest. Don't spell Derek that way. Just don't.
Is the founder of the Cult of Cthulhu, a belief center that revolves around Cthulhu, demonic power, magic of some form, and probably a couple of other things tossed in there for good measure. We know that there is at least a little bit of magic involved somewhere in the system because after the game got torn apart by reviewers, he went into the forums of the site and tried to place an actual, I kid you not, curse on them, complete with its very own ritual speak.
Dude, they're already on forums. They're cursed enough as it is.
I will be paraphrasing the following in order to not accidentally sick the curse on all of you. Master of the Abyss, I open the unknowable doorways and touch the violet flame, drink the revitalizing blood, and break the skulls of those who cross him or his brothers. From this night forth, you will be plagued by self-doubt, weakness.
Dude, you don't need a curse for that part. Just go to college.
Failure, hopelessness, hunger, pain, loss, insecurity.
I would like to lose a bit. Thank you very much. In fact, I would appreciate that. The rest of it, don't worry. Again, been to college, had a job. It does cover all of those. It's like cursing someone with having a normal everyday life.
And envy. Nothing can save you, and no one will come to your aid.
I blame this guy for 2020.
All who have befriended you will now desert you in your hour of need. In the name of the Ancient Ones, I curse those who tear down Empire of Satanis. I cannot confirm as to whether or not the curse actually worked, but apparently...
When did this come out? 10 days ago? Oh, wow. I actually got to it pretty fast. Kind of surprised I got so many recommendations for this so fast.
He ended up getting banned, so I think it's safe to say that it did. But what is Empire of Satanis, and what makes it one of the few games out there that are curse-worthy? Well, in the game, you and your buddies play as fiends trying to increase your influence and control over the demonic realm, doing so by increasing their social standing within demon society. Oh darling, we have got to take a different route. I can't be seen around the middle-class demons. It'll hurt my image. The whole game is very strangely organized, both in terms of the layout of the pages and the game itself, as I don't think I've seen a game where your level of social standing determines the amount of spells you can cast.
So literally, this is just being a socialite with extra steps on it. I can see why this was torn apart, even before the really chuny parts of it.
Also, there's an entire subset of magic called Candyland magic, which must be just the most vile and heinous spells you've ever laid your eyes on. War crime material there. The major system that Empire of Satanis uses for its skill checks is a dice pool system, where based on your stats, you will get to roll a certain number of 6-sided dice and take the best 2 dice from that group. A little bonus though, if you roll a 6, then you get to re-roll that die and add that new number to the total as well.
That sounds pretty good actually. Like, unironically, that's really cool, depending on how you use it. Now, let's see how it was absolutely fucked up.
This is actually a really cool mechanic, and I love it when games let you do this.
Wait, what was that? Eldara's Savage Skies. I have no idea what that is, but that looks so cool. There's so many board games I need to find, man.
Another major mechanic is what I refer to as the switcheroo.
The what?
Whenever entering a new scene for the first time, you, the player, can request a major change be made to the direction of the story. You then roll one 6-sided die, and if it lands on a 6, then that story change is now canon and
So you explicitly get to tell the DM, I want to do this. I rolled a 6. You must do it. And this is a game made by a cult. How many times can you imagine the result of this was, hey, I want a game where my neighbor has to do whatever I say for the week. Oh, also in the game as well. It's a cult. You know, I'm not even sure I'm joking about this one, man. Oh, I don't... You know, they just had a really cool mechanic that actually had some interesting usage there. And, I mean, they're using the death straw, obviously, for the showing how dumb it could be. But let's be completely fair. That's not what they would use it for. Oh, my... Because it's made by a chuny guy. It's like, no, I know what is really awesome. They must listen to me. And it's probably for a bunch of other people who are equally chuny who think they want to be the GM without actually having to do the work of being the GM. This is the equivalent of an isekai power fantasy that has absolutely no thought behind it. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is actually an isekai power fantasy about a cult. So probably in line with that one, actually.
You become the new DM, with the old one now being relegated to a character in the story. This sounds pretty cool, but I find it really unlikely that anyone that wasn't planning on being the DM for the whole night prepared a bunch of story material and encounters beforehand. And it has got to be really annoying for the guy that planned all of that to watch all of his work be thrown into the trash. Venger actually did a retrospective on his game in 2018 where he relented that, quote, Empire of Satanis is an amateurish mess of terrible cliches and something even worse.
Wait, are we actually getting evidence of people self-reflecting on the internet? I guess there's a happy ending to this. I say, realizing that there's more to the video and there's no way it's ending there.
Running in the opposite direction of cliche, only to hit a brick wall at top speed. Indeed, the thing is weird for weirdness' sake, and tries too hard in the process. So if the creator that tried to curse people over it doesn't even believe in the game anymore, then I think it's safe to say that this one ends up pretty low on the chopping block. Probably not as broken as the other two in terms...
I mean, honestly, the dice mechanic I'd steal. In the same way I would steal Dead Earth's random bullshit go, just later on as a punishment, and the lore of Cyborg Commando. They're like, there's so far a good thing in everything. It's just only a thing.
Of functionality, but as we'll see later, creative actions can have a massive impact on the crowd's perception of a game.
That doesn't sound like it loaded whatsoever. Yeah, I'm just going to cut this one here because I have a feeling whatever comes next will probably hurt me on a physical level. And I'm being told in chat, yeah, according to Martin, this is why these were the least bad. Although I'll still be honest, the least believable fact is that someone reflected on making a bad decision in a cult, acknowledging that it was a horrible mistake to make the game this way and it was broken and edgy for the sake of edginess and weird for the sake of weirdness, but also didn't do it well and made it super cliche. I was honestly expecting to say something, and then he was released from jail 3 years later. Because it seems like that would be the natural next line. And no, it didn't. So good on him. Reflection and character growth in real life. Not my expectation for this video. Yeah. So if you guys haven't already, there's a link below to the original video. I will be coming back to this one and probably doing it when I'm less sober, because right now I have caffeine to make sure I'm very aware of what I'm doing. And I think whatever comes next, I don't want to be aware of it. That seems like a safety feature at this point, and I think I should listen to that. So if you guys haven't, link below, original video, check it out. And I will come back to this in the future and torture myself with whatever is about to come next, because apparently it's only going downhill from there. Oh, dear God. What am I getting into on this one? Yeah. See you guys in the next one. Adios.